Hi. So, hello, Plymouth. Um, Plymouth. Plymouth acts like a town. It identifies as a town, but compared to Boston, it's just a baby. Tonight, I want to start off with "The Night of 1,000 Explosions" for your viewing pleasure. Okay, that's one. 1,000. Okay, thanks. Oh. I've been getting into metaphysical sports memorabilia. I know everyone's into NFTs and whatnot. And my first couple of items was HE double hockey sticks. So I do deliveries, and I was delivering to this guy's house, and he goes, I saw the girl yesterday, and I was in the garage, but she didn't see me, and I didn't want to scare her, so I didn't say anything. And I said, I know. That's why I'm here. And he was like, oh, okay, And I just stared at him for a few minutes. And then he started asking questions like, oh, she knows I was there? Why aren't you talking? Stuff like that. Like, where did that sword come from? Just your normal chitter chatter, like what I do on deliveries. Then he started asking me other questions like, why are you derobing? What are those gloves for? And who put on 9-inch nails? Stuff like that. Your normal questions, Typically asked questions like, are you the boyfriend? How much is she paying you? Do you always wear a gas mask? And I still wasn't into answering them. Just small talk, like, when did you put this tarp down? Do you think this is a lot of blood? Is that my arm? Stuff like that. Then I forget the rest of the story. I think he got his delivery. Some people are always saying they won't show up for work on Monday if they win the lottery, stuff like that. And my Nana was a big lottery winner. And I was wondering, the jackpots now might have bought my Nana like a sports team back in the day, like the Red Sox. And I was like, how would she have ran it? Like, did he pay for that hot dog, Kevin? Did he pay for that? Always like questioning the food court. Give me that foul ball back. Give me that foul ball back. I don't care if that kid's 6 years old. We only used it for one pitch. Come on, give me it back. You're kidding me. Like a bat would fly into the stands. You're not getting a replacement bat. You know how much these things cost? Used memorabilia is a big business. Are you kidding me? Give me that back. Stuff like that. Nana would probably get along with the crowd. Then she would go up to the players and be like, oh, why are you always grabbing your crotch, huh? What's the matter? You're always like this. You got a problem down there? Do you need to see the team physician? What's the matter with you? Are you kidding me? I can imagine her in the stands when someone calls her high-priced free agent a bum. Who called him a bum? Who said that? You know how much we're paying him? Jeez. She'd probably go take their tickets or something. I can imagine the players running around, sliding into bases. Hey, don't get that uniform dirty. Are you kidding me? I gotta wash those. Come on. And then maybe when the game's over, okay, everybody out. Everybody out. We gotta clean up in here, Jeez. Gregory, look at this. Someone didn't finish their peanuts. You want them? Oh my God. If you're gonna if you're going to buy a soda, you got to at least finish it. Are you kidding me? Look at this. All these tonics here. I'm drunk. Come on. She'd be stuff like that. Then maybe after the game, she would be in the locker room and be like, hey, I haven't seen you in a while. To the new players or all the players. Where you been for so long? You been in jail? My Nana, she didn't really have that much tact. She might go up to some players and be like, when are you going to cut that hair? Not a good look. I don't know. Maybe she'd go up to the old veterans and be like, why are you always wearing a hat? You're going to go bald under there. I know. And then sometimes when I'd be like at the strip club, I was wondering, maybe my Nana could really fix this place up a little bit. She runs a tight ship on our family business. What would she do differently? Maybe something like, okay, ladies, I expect to see you at church tomorrow, especially you, Sky. Maybe, don't forget, the priests are coming this week. You do your routine, you get off stage, quick confessional, then out to the back and count your dollars, okay? And wrap them in 25s. Right, you got it. My bad about the last month. Those guys, they told me they were priests. Well, my bad, ladies, my bad. You should never have to do a confessional on somebody's lap. Sorry, my bad, ladies, my bad. I should have known something was up. I'd never heard of a St. Bonaventure. I knew that wasn't a real parish. Again, my bad, ladies, my bad. Stuff like that. She was easily fooled, I think. So here's something. I kissed this statue outside of work on my way home every night, just for kind of like good luck and stuff. But now, like, my bottom lip is getting a little tingly. I don't know if I should keep doing it. I'm pretty sure it's a statue and not like a dead homeless that the rigor mortis is set in. Pretty sure it's a statue. The other night, I thought it blinked back at me, which is weird. It was either that or like the flies on its face were just like, something like that. I'm pretty sure it's a statue, though. Pretty sure. You know what? I think it is a statue because the other day I was reading the inscription and the inscription said, I said one kiss, now take me to Kentucky. Maybe not. I don't know. A cheeseburger, if cooked correctly, can be a work of art. The cheese is all melty and crispy. You get that little bit of runoff. It can be a real work of art. Then if you leave that cheeseburger for 2 hours, the cheese kind of like oozes off a little bit and gets like translucent in places. What is that? Is that ghost cheese? If you wait a little longer, it's like the cheese is saying, well, if you're not going to eat us, me and these other 3 corners, we're going to make a run for whatever on the other side of that plate. We're just going to get out of here. And it's this weird cheese that got me a minus 16 points from my traveling art teacher from Poughkeepsie off of my already low-grade Play-Doh cheeseburger. Yeah, I didn't score too well on that. Now, I know what you're thinking, a Play-Doh cheeseburger. Right. I can't see killing cows in the name of art. That's all. It's my own personal thing. So, I was homeschooled but at a friend's house, which is kind of weird. So it was a really weird upbringing I had. I think not everyone had. And the dress code was a skirt and a tie made out of a yellow and red plaid tablecloth from the 70s. That was the dress code. We had to abide by that. Wait, was I kidnapped? I never did finish that class that the cops interrupted on basket weaving. And then they never really did tell me how that court case made out. My real parents said it would be too traumatic. I don't know. Doesn't sound right. But I will tell you this. I will never look at a ketchup and mustard sandwich the same way again. I won't. So here's something else. I ran into a traffic cop the other day eating French fries. And he said he never slows down to eat them. He'll never stop eating them. And why don't you go ahead and take a couple? This was from a French fry eating traffic cop I saw the other day. And this golf guy I ran into, he was eating a donut and he didn't finish until he got to the hole. He also stops choosing his donut when he finds a hole in one. He likes to swing around when he finds a Dunk's drive-thru also. And he likes to putt around with a munchkin every once in a while. And something else. I saw this weird bearded dude filling his pockets with cherries. You know, he said he'll never cut it out of his diet. He hopes they'll shave a few pounds off his waist. He says he wants to try stem cell research. And sometimes that his weird beard is the pits. And I hate to end on that, but that's how we're doing it. Thank you so much for your time, Plymouth. Good night. Just kidding. There'll be more show. I don't know. Hi, and welcome to the coffee shop. This is where we talk shop about writing comedy. To warm up the coffee shop today, like we always do, we like to say a few names of famous comedians and then follow that name with by calling them a hack. So let's warm it up. Judd Apatow, hack. Jay Leno, hack. Tim Allen, hack. I don't know. Dave Attell, hack. But it's just a fun warm-up game. We don't really think they're hacks. And Judd Apatow, he wrote a book, Crazy in the Head. I should have wrote that down. Sick in the Head. Thanks. Got these notes here. I've had too much coffee at the coffee shop. And in this book, he interviews Seinfeld, Leno, and he's actually a very charitable dude, so I don't really feel it's very nice to call him a hack, you know. He did have this quote in the book I thought was really interesting. I can almost feel people forgetting their troubles and laughing, and for a moment I feel like there is a God or a higher purpose, and I am truly happy. God gave me that dick joke, and it all makes sense. So that's just a little inspiration for you in your comedy writing journey, I guess, for all of you out there writing comedy. This is something I like to also wanted to be the subject of today's coffee shop. It comes from Jerry Corley, comedyclinic.com. And it's called ambivalence. And ambivalence means that you're being uncompassionate about something you should be compassionate about. Like maybe killing someone in their own garage, something like that, you know. I wrote a joke that I was trying to use ambivalence in this joke, and here's how it goes. You know how people forget food on top of their car? Well, that happened to me, but with a baby. Yeah, when I got back, the mom was real mad that I forgot her iced coffee. See that? You're just glazing over what could have happened to that baby. We don't know. And that's a little, I hope that gives you a good example of ambivalence. That's what I was trying to do there. And in the coffee shop, maybe you'd like to order your coffee with a side of ambivalence. Maybe that's what you get. Do they really care about your order? I don't know. And that's all we had from this week from the coffee shop. We'll see you in line at the coffee shop. Welcome to Card Zone. So this week, I didn't have any cards. What's up with that? Is the Card Zone running out of money? Where's the packs of cards? Well, this show is 20 years old, and it doesn't seem like it's getting picked up anytime soon, so, you know, cutbacks. But I did find these. I'm in the midst of a move right now. But I found these homemade cards that me and my brothers made, and we used them for our fantasy baseball draft. Fantasy baseball draft. And, you know, I thought that would be interesting to talk about. This first one is, if you could zoom in on that. Well, it's an old Jerry Remy card that we turned into a Buck Simoneau card for my brother Kevin Simoneau. Oh, there we go. And there he is, Jerry Remy. It's a Topps All-Star rookie card. You know, if you had the real card, it might be worth maybe like, you know, $5 or something. I don't know. It also says rock and roll on it, Buck's bat. I think that's like a dick joke or something. I don't know. And we used to play for the Angels in minor league. Shout out to Ron LaChance, our coach. Shout out to all the LaChances. They know what I'm talking about. And to protect your Buck Simoneau card, you can find like a plastic sleeve, and that keeps it nice and minty fresh. So that's a tip from the Card Zone. Card Zone tip. All right. This next one is OG Simoneau. That's sort of my like wiffle ball nickname, OG. It sprung about in Plymouth South High School. You know, volleyball. If you know the meaning of it, you know what it means. So what we did here is we took an old Paul Molitor card. We changed the brewers to just brew, trying to be funny because a little bit of drinking goes along at the fantasy drafts. And there's probably a draft beer joke there, but I'll skip it. And we put a beer on there by his face, and of course the Let's Go. And Paul Molitor sadly no longer looks like this anymore. This was from the early 80s, but good looking dude. And I love the hat. They do sometimes go with throwback uniforms, and I'm pretty sure you could probably find one of these. This would be a real nice one to have. And then this next one, I think we were just trying to get some nice decoration on the board. And this one there's actually two of. It's Sparky Anderson, manager of the Reds. Who doesn't love Sparky Anderson? And then it's this Sparky Anderson here. If you remember in the '88 Fleer, the Billy Ripken with the F word on the bat. Well, yeah, we put. I don't want to really show it, but it's right on the edge of the bottom of the bat there. And that was a big thing back when we were kids. You had to be over 18 to buy that card because it had a swear on it. So that's what we did there. We doctored it up. And you can see the original. And it says, "Help Sparky" over here. I think maybe Sparky could give you some tips on drafting your fantasy baseball team. Maybe that's what that was in reference to. I don't know. And this one is a shout out to Scotty B. If you're watching, we made this one for you. We tried to pick like the coolest dude we could find back in the cards, in the card zone. We erased his real name. And in the Topps rookie, all-star rookie, it just says bust on it. I'm not that sure if that's completely accurate. And I think this is Scotty B's, like it's supposed to be an attempt at an autograph. But you got the old school, I think this is 77 Topps. You got the old school coloring and lettering on it. Very neat. It'll dress up anybody's draft board, I think. There, we got that. This next one is for Rob Zeta, who goes by Beef, you know. It's just a cool dude, you know. I mean, it kind of looks like maybe Will Ferrell and Anchorman a little bit. He's got the old school Braves hat on. I think it's set up here. I think it said delicious, you know, because maybe this guy eats a lot of, maybe because of the beef, yeah. And this is a 70s reliever, I think. Sort of like your Kenny Powers back in the day. And if you owned this card, in mint condition, you're probably looking at 25 cents, I would say. Maybe 30 cents. This photo probably might be worth more than the card, if we're talking value. But alas, he'll go into the plastic sleeve. All right. And this one, what draft board isn't complete without an Ozzie Smith right here? Classic Ozzie Smith. Better known for his play with the St. Louis Cardinals rather than the Padres, but I think this was like a rookie or second year card. He doctored it up a lot. Got a fake Ozzie Smith autograph here, makes it probably worthless. The Kiss Me right here. Things get a little rowdy at the drafts, I guess. But to adorn your draft board, you definitely need a good old Ozzie Smith sighting. This one is a classic. Reggie Jackson. I don't even know if this was a card, but just to taunt my brother with the Yankees uniform, I think we just brought this out there and put his name on it. It says "Have a nice day," although Reggie does look kind of grumpy in this picture. It's Reggie Jackson. I don't know. I guess that's what that means. Very weird. But if you're gonna have a draft, you gotta put a couple Yankees on the draft board too, I think. Then we got into this little bit of one of our favorite shows was Happy Endings with I believe it's pronounced Alicia Cuthbert, and then she married Abure, I believe. So this is from, I think, when she managed the kickball. So, you know, it's not really that sports related, but she made it on the draft board. And yeah, this would be great to get autographed one day, right? Might not display that well. It's so small. I mean, I think what I did probably is good enough. That's probably how she does her autograph. So this is a print of an autograph, I guess. Probably worth about $1.57. This is Bryce Harper. We know he's on the Phillies. He's got the lettuce going up here, the flow. And I signed it. I have pretty good penmanship. That's not actually signed. And for some odd reason, I was getting ESPN the magazine at home for a while, so that was off the cover. Not really a card. What's it doing here on Card Zone? I don't know. But nonetheless, he's a good baseball player, and we'll keep him in there. he made it to Card Zone. This one, not really a card, but just to give like some validity to your draft board, you might want to print the graphics off the website, let everyone know what you're using and how you're scoring. You definitely want to let them know that. It's the official fantasy commissioner game of MLB. I don't know why it says that. That's kind of a weird way to put it. This one is well, it's self-explanatory. It's Megan Fox. So she's rooting on Scotty B. I don't know why, but she's wearing sort of a baseball outfit. She was probably throwing out a first pitch somewhere. And I'm sure Scotty B likes the support. And I think we just have 3 more, and I'll skip to the last one, but then I'll show you, I'll go back. This one is just, we like to go old school on the draft board. This is Brooke Shields back in the day. You might know her from movies and commercials and whatnot. And I think, yeah, I wrote that autograph. That's my handiwork again. And oh, that's an XO, like she's giving you a kiss. So it's been kissed by Brooke Shields. If you had this as a card, you know, might be worth something, I don't know, to a Brooke Shields fan or something. And then the last 2, they're both Kate Verlander, because why not? Might as well have her on the draft board. She married Justin Verlander of the Detroit Tigers. And she's there with, it's Kate Upton and B.J. Upton and blah, blah, blah Upton. You know, the other 2 brothers. But we kind of decorated over their faces by accident. So that's unfortunate. But if you had these in card form, I would probably say they were probably worth $27 each. And I hope you enjoyed this edition of Card Zone as much as I did. We'll see you next time on the Card Zone. This is for you, Chrissy.